Israel and Hamas reach hostage release deal in exchange for 4-day pause in fighting. Israel and Hamas have reached a deal in which around 50 hostages being held by Hamas will be released to Israel, according to multiple reports, while fighting will pause for 4 days, making the first major agreement between the two sides since Hamas' October 7th attack. The 4-day pause in fighting will be the first pause longer than 4 hours that Israel has agreed to since the fighting escalated in early October. Israel will let 308 trucks in a day cross from Egypt into Gaza as part of the deal, according to Axios. According to Qatari officials, Israel has also agreed to release some 150 jailed Palestinians, all women and children. Adam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you know the famous phrase, we do not negotiate with terrorists. Well, that is exactly what Israel is forced to do at this point, where they're negotiating with terrorists. And today, Thanksgiving, when we're all sitting here enjoying life and the amazingness that is America, on the other side of the world, they are basically trying to get their hostages back. And that's essentially been the main reason why they have not been even willing to have a ceasefire. But it's good to see, for humanity's sake and for innocent civilians' sake, that a ceasefire is pending. And today is supposed to be the day, but now they're essentially supposed to be pushing it back to Friday. And what's holding up the deal? Well, Hamas has not lived up to their end of the bargain by providing any of the details that's supposed to come with these list of hostages, i.e. names, genders, details, logistics, nothing. And, you know, luckily, the United States and Israel, alongside with Egypt and Qatar, because Qatar is very much involved in this. A lot of Hamas's leadership is based out of Qatar. So everyone's stepping up and basically saying, listen, let's get to the ceasefire at some point. And, you know, if someone, I try to equate this into just like humanistic terms. If someone held your kids hostage and they're like, hey, just chill out, man. Like, just have a little ceasefire. You're like, yeah, I want my kids back. I want my children back here. And you're telling me to have a ceasefire. Give me my children back. And, you know, these are the children of Israel. This is the family of Israel. And it's great to see, much like in any time there's a situation, that there's women and children and old people are going to come first. And essentially the details of the deal is there's going to be 50 of the over 200 hostages, women and children initially, that are going to basically be exchanged for 150 Palestinian prisoners that are apparently also women and children. I don't know what those details are.
Kind of weird. But yeah.
But so there's this exchange. It's sort of a 3-to-1 exchange. Israel has been notorious. If you look, I mean, Rob, you can Google this. They will exchange one Israeli citizen for hundreds, if not thousands, of terrorists or people that are put in jail. Like, that's how much Israel cares about their citizens. They will literally exchange one citizen for 1,000 terrorists, essentially, or whoever's in jail. So you can look into that. But ultimately, here's what has to happen, because hopefully this takes place. I would say there's a high likelihood that this doesn't take place. You're negotiating with terrorists. So we'll see what happens here. But if there is some sort of ceasefire and exchanging of prisoners and hostages and everything that's going on there, that's great. And then what I think terms of the deal is that for every day that there's a ceasefire, they will release 10 more hostages. So we would all love to see a cessation in war and activity and everything that's going on with that. In the meantime, Israel has been attacking the operational headquarters, allegedly, that is in this hospital area. They've been basically going after tunnels. They've been going after weapons manufacturing sites. And I think it's come to the world's attention that Hamas has got to go. What needs to happen is that the UN needs to step up. The Red Cross has already stepped up. They're going to need to basically set up some sort of temporary political solution, a UN-run government to run Gaza. And we would all love to see the ending of war and the ending of this.
The only way you bring a terrorist to the table is you kind of go Kaiser Sose on them, right? You're willing to go one step further than they are.
Oh, wow.
And we've seen the videos, and one of the videos most striking to me was seeing how the Israelis planted, a high-intensity explosive charge on one end of a tunnel, and they set it off, and you saw a backblast, but then in the distance, on a straight line, then off to the left, you saw the blast effectively coming through like manhole covers.
Yeah.
That was air vents. And so I'm saying to myself, man, I sure hope Israel knew where that tunnel went and was sure that there were no hostages in little rooms or caves down under there, because the concussive force there, basically it kills people rather quickly, right? The concussive force of an explosion in a contained area breaks your eardrums, creates intracranial bleeding, and you're dead. And so I just sure hope that Israel knew that there were no hostages along that line and where that tunnel was going, number one. But number two, you look at that, immediately took out any living thing that was on down that half-mile tunnel. And you say to yourself, okay, guys, if you're hiding in that tunnel, you're no longer hiding there, because you guys are all dead. And it appears that Israel's had some, despite the bad view, and I hate what I'm seeing here, because I believe in the notion that when you kill a man with a child and you leave the child and his three friends are when they turn 18, 16, they're becoming bad guys. You're making bad guys out of these children who have lost their parents.
Yeah.
But I believe Israel's had some effectiveness with what they're doing, and that's brought Hamas to the table to negotiate this.
Well, again, America doesn't negotiate with terrorists. I don't know how Israel or anybody else does. But let's say they get all these hostages back. Then what? Is that end game? Then what? It's because Hamas is still apparently out of the 11,000 that have been killed, the majority are women and children. You guys know how many Hamas terrorists have been killed in this?
They have not had concrete numbers, because it's hard to do that, because
but if
Hamas
you
runs
to,
it. I don't know. I'm not going to guess. I'm not going to guess.
But people have guessed, and it's
but it's
about
a guess.
100 or 200. And I'm being.
Give me your source for that.
I've heard that
From who,
it's
a
not
guy?
a lot. Well, it's not a lot. Hold on. Can you tell me how many?
I don't know. That's why I'm not guessing.
Hold on. Give me a guess. Can you guess?
I'm not going to guess.
Well, from what I've heard,
give me your best guess.
I would say it's
from a guy
under
you
500.
spoke to. What
I'd say
is
it's
it?
under 500 out of 10,000. Let's just say. My point is, at what point is it going to be like, okay, so let's say they do this 4-day ceasefire, and they go right back to it. What's the end game is getting all the hostages back, right? I mean, that's what you want. Is to get all the hostages back. But like Tom just said, you killed these innocent people that are dying. You're creating people that are really, really going to hate Israel, and they're really, really, really going to hate us. And then here's the point. Here's the point that I'm going to. Did you guys saw that internal memo that was released that Israel said, hey, listen, we didn't want it to come out, but the media and everybody got it robbed. Did you see about this? And it was their plan. Valuetainment, Connor Walcott reported on it. It was an internal memo saying that all the West and everybody is going to have to take all these refugees because Israel doesn't want to take them. Because mind you, all these people are going where right now? Where are all?
In the refugee camps.
Okay, where? Israel's not. The Egyptian border's not open.
The Rafah crossing, that's where they.
Yes,
but ask yourself, why won't Egypt take these people in?
No,
why won't Jordan take these people in? Why won't the rest of the Arab world take these people in? I'm asking you why.
Because nobody wants people that are pissed off because they're getting bombed, Adam. Would you want to take anybody?
That's
a big part.
Why didn't they take them in prior to this?
What I'm saying is, though, the attitude of, well, we told everybody to leave. Where are they going? They're just going in a camp and sitting around? Where are they going to go? I'm just curious.
This sort of highlights the bigger problem that's going on here. And I equate it to, I'm going to make a sort of a weird analogy, what goes on in America when black on black crime. Like, nobody talks about black on black crime. Nobody talks about what's going on in Chicago. Nobody talks about what's going on in D.C. Where are the riots for that? Where is the BLM movement when black people get killed by other black people? But when one cop randomly kills a black person, which is very, very seldom, all of a sudden there's riots and there's protests. What's the analogy? We're not talking about what the Arabs that are killing other Arabs in every other part of the world, in Syria, in Lebanon, in North Africa. Certainly what's going on in Iran is a fucking travesty. But all of a sudden, when Israel tries to defend themselves and their right to a sovereign, peaceful nation, they're the bad guys. Go ahead and march when Al-Qaeda in North Africa starts terrorizing other North Africans, and they start killing other Muslims and Arabs. Where are the marches for that? Where are the marches? You only care about when the Jews do. It's essentially the same thing that goes on here in America. You don't, no, BLM isn't marching when hundreds, if not thousands of black people are killed by fellow black people, where the marches say nothing. But let one cop do something ridiculous, the marches ensue. It's exactly what's going on here. And if you want to talk about stats, did you see this USA Today article? I'll read it to you because they actually surveyed the people of Gaza. Okay? What, Tom? What are you saying?
No, I'm saying yes. Read that.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks, Tom. I don't need your encouragement. So they basically said
It's called support, dude.
Thanks, brother.
Go ahead, Adam.
Basically, they're saying that Hamas has basically it's basically a mini Iran, and you're familiar with Iran,
Of course.
Okay, how do you think the people of Iran feel about their government?
Well, I mean, some of them love it. Not
No, the majority of people do not love their government in Iran.
Well, you said some people do.
The
and some
majority of people.
I mean, I don't know. What are the stats? Have you?
I'm just your opinion.
Like, where's the stats? Where's your poll?
I'm about to give it to you.
I don't know.
I'm about
Because
to give it
some
to you.
people love their fucking country.
Yeah. What would you say? Would you say the people of Iran love their government, Pat?
Government, no, they do not.
Yeah. Do you need a stat to know that?
No, we actually gave a report the other day, and the way it opened up, according to a Netherlands study that was done, 68% of Iranians in Iran want the government to be changed.
Of course. All right. Well, it turns out it's the exact same thing that's going on in Gaza. Okay? So if you look into this thing that says Hamas, notorious for its violent tactics such as executions and enforced disappearances, instills a pervasive atmosphere among who? Palestinians in Gaza. This is what happens when a terrorist organization or a mafia-like organization like the mullahs in Iran are running your government. And what happens is they kill their political rivals. They're thrown off rooftops. They tortured their own people. This is not a democracy. This is a full-on terrorist organization that is running a country. And the people who suffers the most? Innocent civilians in Gaza, 50% of which were born prior to Hamas coming into power in 2006. Innocent kids, innocent victims can't even go out there and speak. So here's some numbers for you. Surveys conducted by the Arab Barometer before the October 7th attack provide revealing statistics. 68%, here are your numbers, 68% of Gazans believe they had no safe way to participate in peaceful protests against Hamas, while 73% favored a peace deal with Israel. This is according to USA Today. These figures underscore the complex sentiments of Gazan population where support for Hamas is far from unanimous. So the people that are suffering the most are the innocent people of Gaza and the Palestinians.
That's the majority of the people that are there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who are suffering at the hands of Hamas. So by the way, if you look at Hamas, when they were elected in 2006, who was running basically Palestine, the Palestinians? Before that, it was Mahmoud Abbas. By the way, he's 88 years old. He's kept up in the West Bank. He has not been to Gaza since 2006. Why? Because they basically had a civil war and they will freaking kill him. Hamas.
Yeah.
They're political rivals, okay? So in America here, we have, we'll lock her up, you belong in jail and all that. No, they'll literally kill you in Gaza. That's what Hamas will do. So it's a sad situation that's going on there. And last point is this. They've actually come out with dozens of reports. They've interviewed Arab Muslims who live in Israel. And they asked them point blank, why don't you leave Israel? Why do you stay here? They go, I love Israel. I have economic security. I have financial freedom. I'm safe. I feel great. Why don't you move to Gaza? Why don't you go to Lebanon? And they're essentially like, hell no, I'm good here. So all the people really want in Gaza at the end of the day, what do people really want? Financial freedom. They want to work. They want to earn. They want to be with their family, but they're held hostage by Hamas. And Israel lives next door to a terrorist organization. To the west of them is Hamas. To the north of them is Hezbollah. To the right of them is Al-Qaeda. What the hell are they supposed to do? Does anybody want innocent victims to die? Hell no.
No, but you said,
well, what are you supposed to do when you have terror organizations surrounding you?
Well, it's kind of cool. Well, you said what do the people in Gaza want? You mean wanted, because there is no, it's flat.
Yeah,
and everybody's gone.
50% of the people have been displaced.
Everybody's
but did Israel want this?
No.
On October 6th, they had no issues.
No.
I'm not saying no issues.
And Adam,
but there was no war.
And this is a point that I have to make, Pat, and we'll move on. Two things can exist at the same time. What Hamas did, everybody can agree, horrible, disgusting, you can understand and see that, but then on the flip side, say like the response is getting a little bit out of hand. You could still, those can exist. You're not a Hamas supporter.
I want you to play. I want to play this here because again, this is a conversation that's been going on for
how many
weeks now, right? Several weeks, and we've heard all the
7
debates.
weeks.
We've heard all the different debates on what's going on. Rob, can you play the clip on the what is it? Security Council, the National Security Council advisor to Obama, smiles when he's talking to this man in this video. If you guys saw the face of this man going around, and maybe you didn't watch the video, here's who he was. This was the former National Security Council advisor.
His name is Stuart Seldowitz. He was charged yesterday with a hate crime for spewing Islamophobic rants at a cart vendor in New York City. The vendor's name was Mohammed Hussein, who's, by the way, of Egyptian descent. He's an American citizen. He was working when Seldowitz, who's Jewish, approached him and started verbally attacking him. Mohammed said the incident was unprovoked, and he said that he's going to sue Stewart for hate speech and harassment. And, Pat, I'm not going to give it away because this is 2 minutes long. Do you want to show the whole thing or just at the end when he says, and I quote, if we killed 4,000 Palestinian kids,
let him
yeah,
play.
like,
Watch
so,
this. Show the play. Don't you play Litterman. We'll fast
because
forward.
it's going to be, yeah, okay, go ahead.
To my friends in immigration.
Really?
He's calling his friends in
And to
immigration.
the Egyptian, the Mukhabarat wants your picture.
Okay, yalla, go.
Yeah?
Look at that evil face.
You know the Mukhabarat? The Mukhabarat.
No, I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't speak English.
No?
Yeah, go, yalla.
Mukhabarat in Egypt will get your parents.
Go.
Look,
Does your father like his fingernails? They'll take them out one by one.
Jesus. Look at that
يلا روح
face.
من هنا يلا go
Well, why should I go? Why should I go? Tell me why I should go. I'm standing here. I'm an American. I have free. It's a free country. It's not like Egypt.
Jeez.
Fast forward halfway. Go right. Keep going a little more right there.
What?
Who Muhammad?
Muhammad, your prophet. You know who he is.
My prophet?
Yeah. He was a rapist. He raped Aisha. Does it say that in the Hadith or not? You know that?
I don't speak English.
What?
No English.
You don't speak English? What do you speak?
Look at that face, dude.
What do you speak? You speak Arabic? The language of the Quran? The Holy Quran? That some people use as a toilet?
Jeez.
What do you think of that? People who use the
problem.
Quran as a
And here it
toilet?
comes. Here it comes.
Does it bother you?
Watch what he says at the end.
Does it bother you? Tell me the truth.
I don't speak English.
You don't speak English? Ah, that's too bad. That's why you're selling food in a food cart. Because you're ignorant. But you should learn English. It'll help you.
Of course,
When they
yeah.
deport you back to Egypt, and the Mukhabarat wants to interview you for being
Go yalla.
Oh,
Because
Rob,
I'm not-
I sent you one, Rob, in Slack, which at the end of it, Pat, the one
You
that
can
I
say what he said.
Okay, so I'm gonna say what he says, Rob, because I slacked you the one at the end at the 1 minute 40 mark. He says, and I mean, you have to hear him say it. I sent it. This is it right here, Pat. I'd rather have you guys hear it from him. And this is just pure hate.
So far,
and
there's
evil.
no crime here. So
Not-
far.
well, what do you mean? Well, he got arrested for a hate crime.
No, there's no crime until this
So
happens.
yeah,
Correct.
Watch that. Yeah, go to the. He's showing. By the way, he puts an Israeli flag.
Is this a
up to
different
the,
video?
Yeah, no. Support. Go to a little bit towards the end, Rob. It's like right towards the end. Yeah, please.
Listen, go. I'm not.
terrorism.
I'm not some.
You
Go.
support
I'm
killing
just working
little
here.
children.
Watch. Here we
You're
go.
a terrible person.
Here
You
we go.
kill children, not me.
What?
Go.
My kids? What about my kids?
You kill children, not me. Go.
I didn't kill children.
Okay, why see
You know
here?
why? If we killed 4,000 Palestinian kids, you know what? It wasn't enough.
Look at that.
It wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough. That's
go.
Obama's
That's just,
National Security Council advisor. So dude, that's just evil hatred in your heart. Just his face, just his vibe. It's like, that's disgusting, bro. And he got arrested yesterday.
I fully agree with you. The guy's a total scumbag. And it's indefensible. By the way, Rob, can we play the video of all the Arabs basically calling for the death of all Jews? Do you have any of those videos? Because there's billions of them. Here's the point. These anomalies out here, just interviewing one person, they're not representative of an entire faith or an entire ideology.
Nobody's saying
So is
that.
that guy a scumbag?
Yeah.
Yes. But does he represent all Jews or is all Israelis? Hell no.
No, not at
Just
all,
like
but-
Hamas doesn't represent all Arabs.
Yeah, nobody said
So
that they were.
the-
But
the point
but
is
this is
this
Obama's boy. This is Obama's boy, which is hilarious.
Dude, I don't care if he's Obama's boy, Trump's boy, because believe me, Trump has people that are
Wait a
just
minute,
as
Adam, that's
as
the
wild.
story, though. That's
Yeah.
the story. The story is that he was working in our government in a trusted position of influence, control, and power for a U.S. president, and then he's on the street like this. I don't think anybody was trying to make a sweeping generalization about Jewish people, Arabic people. This is a guy that was in our government. That's the story, and he's choosing to behave like this. That's
And he
the
knows he's
story.
getting recorded.
And he was in a liberal globalist regime, the Obama administration.
Yeah. What
were you
That's the
gonna say,
story
Rob?
here.
I fully agree. I don't know who this guy is. I'm not defending him.
Well,
as
we
an
told you
absolute
who he is.
scumbag.
We just told you
I
who he
don't-
is.
But the point is, what's the point? We're just singling this one guy out.
Adam, it's a story in the news. I don't know if you know this, the PBD podcast, we do news. This is Barack Obama's national security advisor. He's in the street in front of a camera saying we should have killed more Palestinian, more
I understand
children.
the point he's making.
But it's not like we're singling out one.
No, the point he's making is there's extreme people like this as well on the other side that are
course.
doing some ridiculous thing. My biggest challenge is that this is increasing the temperature, and people like him are increasing it even more by the things that they're saying,
of course.
not being able to control their emotions. And for somebody that lives in America, you have to realize the people that live in Poland, their number one priority is what?
Poland.
The people who live in Australia, their number one priority is what? Australia. People who live in U.S., guess what's their number one priority? Should be U.S. if you got a family. That should be your number one priority. Now, I'm Iranian, a Syrian, and Armenian. Whenever something happens over there, that tugs at my heart, and I'm a part of it. So I understand as a person that's Jewish, or somebody that's Palestinian, or somebody that's Muslim, or somebody that whatever may be, they're going to have their emotions being involved because it's heritage, it's pride in your background, who you are. But at the same time, the fact that these temperatures are not decreasing at the levels that we need concerns me in today, where yesterday a guy driving a Bentley is flying into a Canadian border, blowing up, and CNN and Fox and everybody says there was explosive stuff in the vehicle. And yeah, is that the one? Watch this video with this car just flying.
going
Look at it. Look at the background.
I think it was like 110 miles an hour back.
Press play, Rob.
Identifying who
Look at
the
that.
occupants of the
What the
vehicle
hell
were,
is he doing?
any potential
flying
motive
car.
that they may have in terms of in groups they may belong to.
Turn off the audio, Rob. We're not listening to what she's got to say. Just want to watch
Look
the
at that.
video. Yeah.
What is he
Watch
doing?
this.
Dude, and by the way, he's going from Canada to here. That's how bad it is in Canada. They're driving 110 miles an hour to get the freak out of there. Justin Trudeau, that should be a video. Get the hell out of Canada.
That's the truest thing you've said all day.
There's a new meaning to
I don't need any facts for that.
Yeah, we don't need a fact check for
small unsuccessful division of Air Canada here.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.